Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giridharadhari Jaya Jaya Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai Gaura Premanande Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Ananta Kori Vaishnavinda ki Gaura Premanande Jai Ho. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Where is my thing? Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 6th chapter, verse number 15. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Okay, let me try the Sanskrit. Biteshu nitya vinivistacheta vidvamsa dosham paravitta hartuham Prityaha bhathya prityaha bhathya what is it? Prityaha bhathapya jitendriyasta dasanta kamo harate kutumbi Biteshu nitya vinivista cheta Biteshu nitya vinivista cheta Vidvamscha dosham paravitta hartuhum Vidvamscha dosham paravitta hartu Priteha bhatpaya Priteha vathapya jitendriyasta dasanta kamo harate kutumbi. Anybody want to repeat?
Piteshu nitya vinivesta cheta.
Piteshu nitya vinivesta cheta.
Vidvamscha dosham paravitta hartu.
Vidvamscha dosham paravitta hartu.
Prityeha vatta piyati chendriyasta.
Britepya vatapya jitendriya priyastam. Santa kamo harate kutumbi.
Viteshu nitya vinivista cheta.
Viteshu nitya vinivista cheta.
Vidvamscha dosham paravitta hartu.
Vidvamscha dosham paravitta hartu.
Priteyaha vatapi ajitendriyasta.
Pritebhya vataspi jitendriyasta.
Shanta kamo harate kutumbi.
Daswanta kamo harate kutumbi.
Viteshu nitya vinivista cheta.
Briteshu nitya vinivista chetaha.
Vidvamscha dosham paravitta hartu.
Vidvamscha dosha paravitta hartu.
Yeha vata priyatitendriyasta.
Jitendriya vacha prijitendriyasya.
Santa kamo harate harate kutumbi.
Asantakamo harate kutubi. Okay, so word by word. Biteshu, in material wealth. Nitya avhini vista chetaha, whose mind is always observed. Vidvan, having learned. Cha, also. Dosam, the fault. Para bitva hartahu, of one who steal the money of others by okay. Maybe I can do a little bit. Of one who steal the money of others by cheating or by transaction on the black market.
By cheating or transactions on the black market.
That's intense. Pritya, after dying. Iha, in this material world. Va, athapi, still. Ajita indriyaha, because of being unable to control the senses. Tat, that. Asanta kamaha, whose desires are unsatisfied. Harate, still. Kutumbi, too fond of his family. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. If a person, to attach to the duty of family maintenance, is unable to control his senses, the core of his heart is immersed in how to accumulate money. Although he knows that one who takes the wealth of others will be punished by the law of the government and by the law of Yamarāja after death, he continued cheating others to acquire money. Purport. Especially in these days, people do not believe in a next life or in the court of Yamarāja and the various punishment of the sinful. But at least one should know that one who cheats others to acquire money will be punished by the law of the government. Nonetheless, people do not care about the laws of this life or those governing the next. Despite whatever knowledge one has, one cannot stop his faithful activities if he is unable to control his senses. Om Ajnana Tirmandasya Gyananjana Slakaya Chakshura Unmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So, it's when I was reading this verse this morning, I was thinking, the money is like sweeter than honey, they say, So everybody is after money and wealth. And, we see that people are so ambitious, They have already have so much wealth, Some people are so rich, they got big business and big money and money sitting in the bank, but they are so insecure that they want to make more money, And this is the thing, Even I was looking at myself. When I come to this country, I had one suitcase with maybe a few clothes and maybe about $800. And and when we got here, we were all about money, okay, how to make more money, I gotta send some money, I gotta pay my school fees and stuff. Yeah, and even now, I have enough to, but I still think, okay, no, I need more, How can I get more money? Like, oh, maybe I'll change my job, maybe I'll get paid more, It's never enough, actually. But when you think about it, like, we don't need much, we just need, like, a little place to sleep, some prasadam, and, and some service, devotion service, some engagement, actually. And we are more happier, like, when I had a little place, just a place to sleep, I used to stay in a church a little bit. So I had a little room, and all I had was just like a little altar and a bed on the floor and a few clothes, and that's it. And I had one bike. And I was happy, like, I used to go in Harinama on the bike and then come home, But then when you have more, like, oh yeah, I need a car, and I was thinking, no, I need another car. And it's never enough, So, yeah, and there is always fear, because, you have to maintain yourself. Okay, so what if my insurance, we need insurance for the car, insurance for the phone, insurance for your health. Never enough. And on top, there is, like, these laws, the material laws, and, and these material laws, they just try to steal money. When you drive, like, you always fear of getting fined, and it's not easy, you have to pay like $400, $500, and then parking fines. That's just the normal, like, ordinary laws. Like, if you look at, we have laws in our home, and then there's, like, maybe the community has their own law, and don't enter from the back door, you have to enter from the front, There's so many things, even in temples. And then there's a local council, like, you can't you can't busk here, you have to you have to have permit, and then the local government and the government, it goes on, like, on and on, like, And actually we cannot avoid the laws, actually, even this, laws of this material world, because I guess it's all come from Krishna anyway. It's all come from scripture. That if we don't follow the laws, then we become like animal. We don't have we don't know where we're going, what we're doing. And sometimes we need these material laws to keep us in track. Otherwise, we'll do whatever we want. We go steal and all kind of things. And so when I was in little age, we used to go and steal some fruits and stuff. And there's this verse says that we knew exactly we shouldn't steal, but we still do it. So that's the tendency of human being. We are in, like, these four things that we are. We what is it? We are, huh? Yeah, we are, like, always in imperfection. We are very illusion, and what are the others? Yeah, we make mistakes. So yeah, these four things that we actually in control by these things, and we are. That's why we just make mistake always. And so we just go back to the laws, and the spiritual rules and regulation is so important. Like, before I was becoming a devotee, I was so confused. I was already kind of yogi, that I tried to practice some yoga and asanas, and I knew, like, okay, this full material life is not for me. But I was so confused, to looking at this material life, the karmis, I get influenced by them. You want to go on clubbing and, all kind of thing. And but once I got this knowledge of devotional service by, mercy of devotees and Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya, then I was so clear about the laws, that what I need to follow, actually. So, and all my doubts were just disappeared. And I was more inclined to understand this, the science of devotional service. And when I got the first book, was Science of Self-Realization, I went to the op shop and was looking for things, and then I found this book and I was reading, and that was enough for me to understand that, okay, I need to get into this devotional service. So, and I was, so I was lucky enough to be in Melbourne, where I had this opportunity to go to temple and then met some devotees. And what they did was, so that devotee, whoever my Siksha Guru, he actually took me all the programs like Mangalati and Gaurati, afternoon programs, the lunch, the prasadam, and then one day he said, I still remember. One day he said, it's Achyutananda, he's like fired up. He said, I'll take you to Harinam. And I had no clue what Harinam is. So we went down to, there was a first, I think we did first time in Sankila festival. So Harinamananda was there. I think he was still in his white. And I remember he drove a temple van and put everybody in the van. And we went down to St. Kilda, and it was like just, I think about after breakfast, about 10 o'clock or something, we went in the morning, and we went all around. It was ecstatic, like, I was in ecstasy like anything, and then they say, we'll do it again in the evening. Yeah. And then we're down again. I was crazy that I never seen such things in my life, that we stayed in one place. We walk around, but we stayed in one place later. And then there was like 20, 30 devotees in the middle, and then there was thousands of people around, like a big circle, like, and everybody's listening and watching. And it was like crazy, like I never seen those craziness in my life before. So that moment I had this big realization and like call, from within, that this is the thing I want to do, this is the thing I want to do. And then from there, I got to understand all the rules of a spiritual life, actually. So I started going to Mangalati, associating with devotees, how to put tilak, what do you do after, like, wake up in the morning, simple things, how to offer prasadam to the deities, and all these simple, devotional service rules and regulations. And then got to know there's 4 regular principles, we shouldn't do it, So I started following it, and then I started chanting 16 rounds. So then got to, go to the lotus feet of the spiritual master, take initiation, and, here I am. So still try to become a devotee, practice devotional life every day. And for me, it's very simple. I keep it very simple. Like, I don't make too complicated things. So I just, I got deities at home. I wake up, I do deity seva a little bit, and then I chant my round, whatever I can chant in the morning. And then I got a 9 to 5 job. I do my work. And then mostly we do Harinam, so twice a week. And if I can do more, we can do more. Like, in the summer we do more Harinams. We'll go out more and, encourage people to join. And I read books simply sometimes. Sometimes I can't do it, but mostly I try to read books. Bhagavad Gita and then Bhagavatam. So get to understand more about devotional life, what we need to do, And Krishna consciousness is so magical that just by, doing devotional service, you actually get to understand a lot of things, from within. It says, Nitta Krishna, what is it? Nitta Sitta Krishna Prem, Saddha Kavanai, Sravanadi Karo Chitta Uday. So just by hearing the holy name, hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, we get to know a lot of things. like sometime, like I had this stage, some stage of my life. I was still a student. I was, and all I had was just lectures of Prabhupada, and I had this little iPod and a dock, and I used to play 24/7, like just on and on. And sometimes I would go to sleep and wake up, and the lecture is on. It was amazing, And then you hear it, and sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night, you hear it, like, and it's actually, that was my whole, feed for my consciousness, that got to understand a lot of things by hearing. So Krishna consciousness is within us. We are all Krishna conscious by default. So when we hear, Krishna Katha, when we hear this holy name of Krishna every day, we actually purify. Sometime, like, I don't know if you guys had, when you don't chant, sometimes it happens that you don't chant around too early or until last end of the day. I had to go through some time. And I feel so anxious, like I feel so anxious because I haven't heard any holy name. And my mind goes on and on and on. And then as soon as when I got that time now, and then I sit down and chant, and all those things is slowly like just calm down, And so I grew up in a village in Nepal, and we had really basic things, Sometimes we get water, it was like from the river or lake, and it's very dirty. So we had this, what do you call it in English? The fitkery, what do you call it? They put in India when they save, and they put this as well. No, it's not not a cream. It's some sort of minerals.
Oh, just rock salt.
Yeah, something like that. So when you have this dirty water, you cross those, and then you put it in, and after like an hour, all the dirt goes in the bottom, and the water becomes so clear. So our mind is like that, And when we chant the holy name, all the dirt just goes away. We can experience that every day. And I was thinking about these schoolies and the kids, So for me, like that one Harinam was my awakening. Like, wow, I want to do this again and again. And I'm sure, like Trey is here, like just by one Harinam, right? You feel that, like yeah, this is so good, So yeah, I mean, we are like just an instrument for the holy name. We just try to be instrument and spread the glory of the holy name. This schoolers camp it's amazing. And when you look at these kids, like they are kind of wild, They don't have any like rules and regulation. Like they're just walking around. They don't care what government rules are. That's the age. They just don't care. They just like party and go here there, meet new people and stuff. But then when you look at us, we are just singing and dancing, and look like we are free spirit. We don't have also rules and regulation, and in one sense. But then we are fully backed up by like this, sastra, like, So we got this regulated life, we got structured program to control our senses, control our mind, and be, be in line of Krishna consciousness to keep marching, like slowly and progressively. So yeah, and when I think of Sankirtan, it's like Harinama Sankirtan. It's like a little capsule, has everything in it, So you give that little capsule, and then people will definitely they will hit like core of the heart, and it touches the soul. You can see when you chant it with people, and when you say Hare Krishna, like, and you look at their eyes, they're glittering, like it's just because you can see, you can perceive the soul through the eyes, and it's wakened them up, and we got so many like examples of people becoming devotee by just Harinam. There's one devotee, I always remember him, Nirkeshri, in Melbourne. He used to come. Let me take this call here. He was a backpacker, from Germany, and somehow he just saw us in the street, and he was in his backpack and shorts, and he was still come, Yeah, and then slowly he was like, he got into different things and moved into the ashram, became full on brahmachari. Yeah, just like, from that small thing. And there was another boy, Johnny, Jai Jagannath. Yeah, and he saw us one day in a street, just watching Harinam, and then devotee give him some cards, invite him programs, and, full-on devotee like that, So, yeah, it's a window to the spiritual world, basically. You can, or door, you can enter to the whole, realm of spiritual, magical, experience. So yeah, I mean, when I look at my life, I had no rules and regulation also. Because, when I move out of home, that means my family's, like whatever they were observing me, okay, don't do that, don't do that, it was all gone. So I come to this new country, and, I was living with these wild boys and stuff, doing all kind of things, so there was no rules. But then in my heart, I knew that I'm not doing right, So in the verse, there's an example of stealing, But we can see that even in general things, when we do wrong things, we know it's not right. But then we do it, And it's because I think our association. So when we associate with saintly people, you see, we found so many phones on the street like last few days, right? We could have just kept it in our pocket and just sell it. If someone has that kind of association in nature, they wouldn't give back, right? But we're like, okay, whose phone is this, And when I think of it, I remember that Chanakya Pandit, he said that, if you see even a gold on the street, it's not yours, it's not belong to you. You should consider like a rubbish, just don't take it. So yeah, that's something we can always meditate on, like, when we see things on the street, it's not our. And I vaguely remember hearing some devotees, and Prabhupada actually, Prabhupada walked. He walked like he's the king, And I think sometime they asked Prabhupada, like, so how do you see all these things, like, like these oceans, the building, and Prabhupada says all belong to Krishna. It's not for my pleasure. It's all belong to Krishna, and I am his servant. So, yeah, and we are living in this apartment. We don't own it, but Krishna is so kind. Like, he's giving this facility for us. If we want, if we have this mentality that, okay, maybe, oh, this is so nice, maybe I can take it for my home. We can't do that, because, it's not belong to us. It's belong to someone. So similarly, everything belongs to Krishna, and we are just the servant of Krishna. In that consciousness, we have to just simply make our life or structure our life that we can do some service every day or every week. Like, especially something for the holy name, something for giving out to others. That's called para-upakar. Like when we do something for Krishna, and especially something that we can help other soul to become Krishna consciousness, is so pleasing to Lord. That we can experience in our own life, That when we go on Harinam, And then when we meet some people, they chanted, and then we felt like, sometimes I feel like, oh, I've done something today. And then when someday we can't do nothing, like let's say there's a raining or some reason we can't go out, I feel guilty, especially when I go when I go to city or somewhere like just random, and then I see so many people, and I feel so guilty, like, okay, it's like, we missed it, we can't do nothing today. Yeah, and and that's the way to give back to actually to the world and to Krishna also. In our unlimited birth in this material world, we can imagine how many things we have done. Like we have done this schooly trip, what the boys and girls are doing. But because of one little spark of Krishna consciousness, somebody gave it to us. Just like we, these kids, some just chanted Krishna once, maybe. And that's so powerful that, along the way, either this life, next life, we will get there, we'll get to Krishna. And I was thinking that, like sometimes we don't see the result, like even like in schools, we don't see result, like, immediately, people are, giving up their sinful activities and stuff. But we are helping in a broader way to the whole ISKCON congregation as well. Like let's say these kids, they grow up, they go to somewhere in Europe, they see book distributor or something, they will immediately connect. Oh yeah, these people are Hare Krishnas. I did that when I was in schooling, and it will be so easy for devotees to reach to them. Okay, we have already done like as kind of rapport building, with the holy name. It's already started. And you see that on the street, like when you go on the street, you can see, okay, these people, they knew about Krishna. At least these people are very pious. They know something. So that means there's some, some sort of seedlings, is already planted in their heart. Yeah, and and it will be so easy for a lot of people, all the managers to manage, if they visit to temple, they know exactly, the holy name. If they meet book distributors, they know, okay, this is Hare Krishna. So yeah, and of course, they will, it will be very progressive for their material life also, They will like remember when they grow up, when they go to work and stuff. These days is so like it's like a fashion. People go for meditation, yoga, mindfulness. So when they look up, if they look up and they will see Hare Krishnas, like they will, okay, yeah, this is so cool. Oh, I didn't know this is like a full-on meditation. Like people sometimes they just think it's a song, like just But then when they look up, it's like so deep, like it's really, really deep, and with full devotional culture, and there's like a beautiful Lord, and then the whole paraphernalia of the Lords, the Radha Krishna, and then all the pastimes, Srimad Bhagavatam, like you can really dive into it. It's not just like a part-time thing. It's like a full-time, like full-on. Like I can see like Harinamananda and Nita, they are just like reading all the time, like talking to people, and doing the devotional service, like it's full on, like yeah. And once you get into it, it's like you just don't want to get out. You want to do more and more. So similarly, like Burst talks about the wealth, money. So if you look at all the businessmen, what they want more money. So they want more and more, like to never stop. And similarly, like in devotional life, once you, like we want to do more Harinam, right? If we can do Harinam every day, full on, we will do it. Like we want to do it. So this is our money, this is our wealth actually. You know, this is our wealth, that we got nothing except the holy name. That's sometimes I say that on the street also, because sometimes, you know, when we try to manage this, or when we look good or whatever, but at the end actually it's the holy name, nothing else. You know, I mean, we don't know how to. Sometimes we don't know how to play the music, you know, things and stuff. But you can see the reciprocation of the holy name. Even I had this experience that there was like two people, three people, and we had this kartal, and the mridanga player even didn't know how to play. But the Harinama was so ecstatic because we were just chanting and chanting, like, you know. Yeah, and that's the real wealth, because we want to do again and again. We want to do it more. We want to chant like every day, you know. So, yeah, I guess I can stop at this point. Thank you so much for listening to me.
In time, here comes Prabhu.
Haribol, Prabhu Ke Jai. Vancha Kalpa Tarobasya Kripa Sindhu Vayacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. His Grace Prabhu Ki Jai. Yeah, just
Arrival address.
arrival address.
Please sit down, Prabhu.
What's that?
There's a microphone.
Oh. Haribol. I thought it was giving me a lollipop. That's okay. Yes. I got been stashing Mahaprasad for a week. So half of my bag is Guru Prasad. Yeah. One burfi is enough for one Harinam. So much protein in there. So what do you want me to say?
Yeah, please sit down.
Yeah, who's it? I don't know, I just...
Three things?
Yeah, what?
Bhagavatam was so late.
It's okay. This is like, you just hold it. Like
Oh,
this.
hold it like that?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Hare Krishna. From Nigovardhan. Jai. There, Nigovardhan.
Yeah, the boys from Govardhan.
Yeah.
He's from last year's movies.
Hey, I remember you. You were the mad one
Yes.
in the kirtan. Every time I see the videos of the Harinamandas posting it, you're always in it. Said, oh, that guy joined up now. Yeah, we just came from Melbourne, and we have pretty good Harinam too, organized by Devanath Prabhu. He's like the second Harinamananda for Melbourne. He's so much dancing and singing that all hair fell off. No, not just kidding. No, just kidding. Just kidding. From the heat of the holy name. It does more than that. Not only the hair, but also the material desires. They all get pulled out. Yeah, I was had to convince the temple authorities that coming here and stuff. You know, they're very they check your every move you make, and so I thought better inform everyone what's happening. And this is what we are doing. Prabhupada is always talking about chanting Hare Krishna is our main focus in our life, actually. In the beginning, in the Hare Krishna movement, like when I first joined in the 70s, we didn't know anything else except Harinam, actually. If you have any extra time, they'll be out on the street, everyday Harinam. That was the main program. And except the cooks or pujaris or someone is really urgently needed at the temple, everybody's on Harinam. That was every day. That was the main program. And sometimes they didn't have much like fancy prasadam or anything. But because they're relishing the holy name, they didn't want so many things that they were attached to. Now we have to have so many things. But if you look back in those days, life was in Krishna consciousness was much more simple than today. But and also because those days in the 70s, Prabhupada was here. So if you saw Prabhupada, all your anxiety goes like you meeting Krishna. And also Prabhupada emphasized on Harinam. That's where they're getting it from. And they didn't have, those days people were not playing fancy midanga or sitting down bhajan and scratching their head, and what's next, And sometimes they go, Hare. By the time you lose the air, they say Krishna, at the end. I'm just kidding. But there's many ways you can preach. But it was, if you look at all those old videos where Prabhupada was here, it was up and down, dancing. And Prabhupada was just always going like this in his hands. People up off the floor and still. And Prabhupada was not happy. He wanted us to not touch the ground. But we had the material bodies. We had to touch the ground at one point. But then that was his level of Krishna consciousness, singing and dancing every day. And book distribution and simple life. And right now, you can see that's what you are doing. And I don't know how you do it every day. And Mahavishnu Maharaj must be in his 70s, right? 80s. And he goes every day, Harinam, how he does it. It's the spiritual energy. That's what he does. And we have young people like all of you and many others. And you do one day, like, I gotta have a break. So you gotta, if you can actually get into it, Krishna will bless you. Because I know even myself, I'm close to 60 now. I don't feel it's 60. And if you saw me 20, 30 years ago, and I could tell you stories. I did Harinam once when I lived in Vrindavan, Gurukul. So I used to go every year to a particular place for a vacation. So they had 3 Rath Yatra cart in Gujarat. And so in India the Rath Yatra doesn't it's very long. Maybe not too far, but they lasted for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. So they said, you were singing Subhadra cart, and they had nominated devotees. After 5 hours, all the devotees left. Not even much before that. They're all in the cart here and there. So it was just me and all the Indian people. Yeah. But I said, I don't care. I was asked to sing for that many hours, 6 hours non-stop. And then after 6 hours, I was like, Hare Krishna, I couldn't stop. Somehow it was just like a mechanic. It was coming out. And nowadays I get tired, but once I'm in it, you'll feel it. Like last year or year before, we had the New Year's Eve. It was 4 hours. And they said, no, stop. And make them sing. I said, I can't stop. So that's what it does. The holy name does it. It's not us. You have to always give Krishna the credit. He gives us that energy. But if we have to have that enthusiasm, and He will bless us. And like I came here, I had a lot of service to do. I said, no, I got to go every year a little bit too. Even if it's 2-3 days. It's not only for the schoolies, but also to boost myself, my own Krishna consciousness. And sometimes, like Prabhupada said, preaching is dynamic. Without preaching, we're going to be sitting all day, doing puja all day, like a Soram, and or else, and start bickering with each other because you see everyone so closely every day. So we go to Harinam, all the anxiety, poof, disappears. The preaching brings life. Preaching brings dynamic. Preaching is what inspires us in spiritual life. And if you do that, that's why those in the 70s, we didn't have so many temples all over the world. We didn't have that many devotees. But because they were forefront, they were in the street like in the army. They're in the front. And they feel that relish, Krishna consciousness, so ecstatic. And they feel anxiety when they stop. And that's what happens when you go out, every night you go Harinam, and then you finish, you think, oh, I have backache, I have sore leg. But doing it, you don't feel it. And last year, I got carried away a little bit. I jumped from a thing, and I hurt my leg. You know that? I was thinking I'm 10 years old or something. And I swung, but then it went. And Krishna will, isn't it? A few people, So Krishna sometimes tests our our enthusiasm, but he gives the energy if we have to have initially the desire to serve him. It's not only Harinam, but everything we do for Krishna, you have to have. And that's why Prabhupada sent what's his name, for a few of his disciples to London to open a temple. He said, we have no idea, we don't have money, we don't know how to open a temple. Prabhupada said, don't worry, you go there, you just follow my instruction. And here we are, we have big temples. Bhaktivedanta Manor, and they met Beatles. So if we have that desire, Krishna, Prabhupada will enthuse us. Prabhupada will bless us. Even today, we may be in the temple or wherever we are, but because you have that burning desire to preach Krishna consciousness, you will stand out among the devotees. Even if you're new bhakta, doesn't matter. I still take inspiration from you. We don't say it, but I know like this Prabhu is so good. He enthuses me. And this Maharaj is so good, so Krishna conscious. And I want to be like them. Even if I'm 50 years devotee. But that Krishna consciousness, it's everlasting. It's eternal. We can always learn from it. It's so much there to learn from. It's not like ABC, that's it. You got your degree and that's it. Now you can get a job. But in spiritual life, there's so much more to learn. Bhagavatam is there, 60 volume. We haven't finished first canto, and there's so much more. If you read page to page, it's more than a lifetime of studies. So chanting Hare Krishna, same. And sometimes we chant Hare Krishna, and chant Hare Krishna so much, and you can't stop. You come home after midnight, and still going. And he told me that he went to sleep at 2 o'clock last night. Well, Harinam finished at 12 o'clock, 11:30. Having ice cream. Who eats ice cream midnight? Because you're relishing the holy name. You're not on the material platform. I come here and nearly 60 years old, and I'm acting like kids, like all of you. Because actually speaking, we're not this body. You realize only when you preach Krishna consciousness, or you only realize when you're doing the Harinam. That realization will come. You're not going to get that deep realization of Krishna consciousness unless you go on the street, face the people. I can give a professional Bhagavatam class. And there are a lot of people, they speak Bhagavatam and topics about Krishna Lila and pastimes of Krishna. They're professional in the university. And then when they finish, they light a cigarette. That's professional. But the realization only will come when you commit yourself, when you practice it yourself, when you go out on the street, then the realization will come. Actually. But we gotta be all, complete in every way. You can do puja, you can cook, you can go Harinam, perfect in every way. That's the training we got from Prabhupada. Not just on one thing. Like a gulab jamun, when you make a gulab jamun, it's not flat. It's not sideways. It's round shape, perfect round. One time I was Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Tamal Krishna Maharaj. He was very particular of everything. So nobody wanted to serve him because he's very picky. So there's gulab jamun. So I said, they're pushing me. I said, okay, I'll serve him. So then I showed him the plate. I said, you choose whichever you want. And then he said, I'll have that one. So I said to Maharaj, they all look the same. Round, why are you choosing that one? And he said, you just be quiet. So my point is that Krishna consciousness, you've got to be good at everything. Then it's perfect. You can go, if they throw you in the kitchen, cook. Don't be afraid. Go to the Harinam, go. And you say, you want to die in Harinam? I haven't heard anyone dying in Harinam because we're not putting that much in enthusiasm. You put more enthusiasm. You put more enthusiasm. Like people say, husband, wife, they say, oh, I love you. But I haven't seen any wife rolling in the ground, oh, I miss you so much, crying, tears, pulling the hair. Isn't it? And we talk about loving Krishna. I haven't seen anyone doing that for Krishna either. That's real love. When tears flowing from eyes, the standard of love, hair is pulling out the hair, standing on end, rolling on the ground, voice choking up. we're getting voice choked up because we sing so much. But hair standing, and I don't know about that. So the love for Krishna is the standard of love for Krishna is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demonstrated. We go on Harinam every day. We cut one week because it's too much. We have to have spiritual body. But that 1 week you surrender, or even 2 or 3 days, that Krishna, the blessing you will get is immense. Some people say, oh, bless me, Prabhu, oh, Swamiji, bless me, Asirvad do. Please, Indian people, they always say that. You can go on Harinam. I put a Facebook post a few days ago, and everybody's angry with me. I got a call from Sydney, this Facebook post is about, there's a thing going on in Melbourne and here also, about opening a temple.
Yeah, that's right.
Big thing, issue. So I wrote in the Facebook, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he opened the temple in the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was a very big man in the British government, and he went now door to door collecting 1 rupee. So the attitude, like, I have money, I can open a temple. So I said, go on book distribution, book marathon, go on Harinam. Then you will prove that you can open a temple. Go on Harinam, one time. Or you want to open a temple and do puja all day, what are you going to do? So real Harinam is, the real preaching is to go out, face the people, go on Harinam. This is what we did in the beginning. There was no temple. Now all the temple opened because people joined from Harinam. So if you go, you're doing everything. If you're going Harinam, that's perfect in every way. I don't know what else you want me to say. These are the things we talk about as going on the street. It's not like we're going to say something very miracle like you haven't heard. He asked me, what did Prabhupada tell you? What's the deep instruction Prabhupada tell you? Did he tell you something very special? Yes, he did. No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no sex. Chant 60 rounds. You want more than that, deep instruction. You have to be following those things already, where you are Krishna's associate. Then you don't need to say those things, isn't it? But for us, we need to follow the basic things to be Krishna conscious. Follow those things, go on Harinam, distribute books. This is not miracle, that is the miracle. And every day, you go on Harinam from 6 o'clock till midnight. Who in the world can do that? You think that's not miracle? People, they get up so late every day on a weekend, and they get up very late while we are doing Mangalarati at 4:30 in the morning. And Hari all chanting, dancing, having a rocking kirtan early in the morning. Who does that? Isn't it? That's miracle. That's the energy is coming from Krishna. It's not. We did a Govardhan Puja this year in Melbourne at a special hall. They have enough space in the temple. So I had kirtan. They had a roster from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So I went there a little bit early. So whoever was singing, they can't hardly wait to give me the microphone because they were tired. And so that was Aniruddha Prabhu. It was 5:45. I went there, please sing. And it was gasping. So then I was singing. And, we do the kirtan, we're spinning and dancing. So there was a few elderly people, they're 70s. And they were doing the spin.
Wow.
Yeah, and dancing. And so one of them fell off, they had to call an ambulance. Yeah. So we're inspiring any age group because of your Krishna consciousness. They also jumped in along with the young people. So actually, you don't think you're this body anymore. It's really, we talk about it philosophically, but actually if you want the realization, you have to jump in. You have to dive into it to really get that mercy, isn't it? Hare Krishna. I want to distribute this Prashad Vaibhav from Melbourne.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Prabhu Ki.
Hold on. These are sweets that people go, they come from other countries to get it, and I have it.